Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic call. Glad to see everybody jumping in today. I would love it if you guys could go ahead and drop your location, what you love about UX design, and what you hope to get out of this call in the chat. I am excited. It is a new year, February. We're starting off right. Hopefully, you guys have seen some of our work before, some of these calls that have been happening. But if you are new, welcome. Welcome. Excited to talk to you today. I'm excited to share about UX design. And I think that this is going to be a really great call. So I'm glad that you are here. Elam, San Francisco, right on, man. I love that. I love San Francisco. I was just there in July. I actually used to live in Fresno, California, so I've been all up and down the coast of Cali, and San Francisco is beautiful. The weather is great. At least I think so anyway. I know that sometimes people from San Francisco do not think that at all. Awesome, awesome. We can go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Here, screen, sweet deal. Boom. So today we are going to be talking about all of the layoffs that are happening and why you should still transition into tech. So I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction, tell you who I am if you don't know me already. We'll talk about the truth about tech layoffs. We're going to go into UX design and you, some actionable next steps for you, and a little bit of a Q&A where you guys can ask me any questions that you like. Mainly, if you do have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. And then at the end of it, I will answer those questions as I see them. So my name is Ronald. I am the lead designer for Moment Studio over the Career Jumpstart program for Avocademy. And I'm a Nielsen Norman Group UX certified designer with 6 years of pro design experience and 10 years of business experience. I've shipped countless of design products to happy users, helped hundreds of people transition into UX design. I love to read, I love to write, and I love to learn new languages. I love to eat, and I hate to cook. And if you see me staring off at this other side of the screen here, it's because I have dual screens. I'm watching the chat on that side. Please don't think I am ignoring you. So let us dive in today for the truth about tech layoffs. So I know that a lot of you are on LinkedIn, and it does seem really scary. There are a lot of people posting about them being laid off from their job. Some of those people are UX designers, and you might be thinking why you would want to do something like this and go into this type of career if that was your future. And it is a interesting phenomenon. So according to MarketWatch, over 240,000 people were laid off in 2023 alone. Amazon had the largest company headcount downsize of about 27,000 people. And there were about 1,100 companies that laid off their employees, which is really scary, right? And so some of the reasons for that were market conditions. So obviously something huge happened, right? The pandemic happened, people were staying at home, and a lot of money was being funneled into those digital products, which means they were able to hire more people. Unfortunately, a lot of companies overhired people. And when market conditions settled down and people returned to work in offices, the need for digital products decreased, and therefore they did not need a bunch of that personnel anymore. There were also price increases due to the pandemic. The inflation spiked and prices raised on the different materials it would take, including the amount of labor that companies would be paying for those employees. And also there was this level of industry maturity. So the industry began to level out after experiencing unprecedented growth. There were all kinds of advancements that were made during the pandemic because that is what funneled a lot of the money into those digital products. And since things have kind of leveled out. So overall, the tech industry grew super, super fast, and it's just correcting itself. So according to the Securities and Exchange Commission, layoffs from these companies only represent about 8% of their new hires. So to put that into perspective for you, Amazon increased their headcount by 743,000 employees in comparison to the 27,000 people that they laid off. Layoffs are scary. It really does suck for the people that is happening to. And it happens in such large droves. So, many people being laid off at a time, that it is a cause for panic. It is a cause for alarm. But when we look at statistics from this point of view, we can see that only about 8% of those new hires were laid off in comparison to the people who they still kept on. So if that is something that worries you, and I know that it definitely does, right? So there are some people who are like, well, why would I ever want to do that and put myself in a situation where I could potentially be laid off at the drop of a hat? So one, that can happen anywhere in any industry that you go to, anywhere, right? We're trying to do something that means something to us, right? We're trying to move into an industry that we actually like to do. And in this case, there are so many other industries that are not technology, which is where the bulk of the layoffs come from. So you can work in healthcare, food service, retail. There are so many different industries that you can work in that connect or could connect to your current experience if you want to. So, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, employment growth is projected to increase 4.7 million in jobs from 2022 to 2032. So, let's just say that you currently work as a nurse in healthcare and you're like, well, I want to be a UX designer. I don't really want to be a nurse anymore. So, one of the fastest growing industries is healthcare and social assistance at 12% growth, and they need UX designers, right? So, even manufacturing, shipping, education, food, beverage, construction, all of those industries hire UX designers to do great work. So, another example, if you work in the healthcare industry and you want to become a UX designer, you can still work for all of these great healthcare types of companies. Johnson and Johnson, Pfizer, Walgreens, Cigna. The options for you are endless. And I know that a lot of people work in food service as well, right? I personally, before my lifetime in business and UX design, I used to deliver pizzas for Papa John's. I was a killer pizza delivery boy. And food service still is hiring UX designers. They need people to build their websites. They need people to build their products, right? So McDonald's, Pepsi, Domino's, Nestle, Papa John's, you can still work for those companies in UX design. So you can finally start your new career as a UX designer. And some of you on this call might be thinking, what is UX design and how can that help me? So for those of you who don't know, UX design is the process of creating products and services that provide a positive and meaningful experience to users. So to boil it down, you listen to what people want, you listen to why they want it, and then you watch how they use it, and then you design it to make their lives easier. So UX design is incredibly important to businesses, and regardless of all of the layoffs, UX design is still something that is so valuable to companies that they can't afford not to have UX designers. So companies with UX designers grow 2 times as fast, which is what statistics say, and they have about a 9,900% of return on investment for anything that they put a UX designer on. And so when a company puts a UX designer on a website or a product or some type of flow that they're trying to build, they make a 9,000% jump in their return on investment just by having a team of UX designers work on that product, which means that UX design, regardless of what's happening in the market, does not go away. Companies cannot ignore that type of revenue. So UX design is also important to the users, right? It's user experience design for a reason. And UX designers make a user's life so much easier. So having a UX designer build products means that an app or website will be easy to use and fun and tailored to a specific user's needs. So if you've ever used a website or if you've ever used an app before, and it is the easiest thing for you to just go through that app to find exactly what you need. You're tapping on things, it's working perfectly, you know exactly where to find things. You put some queries into the search bar and it pops up with exactly what you need. It is likely that there was a UX designer on the other end who built that with you in mind, thinking like, oh, I want Ellen to have just like the smoothest experience that they can possibly have. This is what we're going to do because this is what users like Ellen need for this particular work. And companies have noticed that the goal conversion rate, so the goal of whatever they want a user to do, increases by 5 times if they have a user designer build their product. And that equates to about a retention rate of 70%, which means that 70% of the people who use their website or product return to that website or product because it has created such a great experience for them. So with UX design, you can do a bunch of things, right? So you can innovate and create. So you can explore your own creativity, think in new ways, and create experiences that people didn't even know that they wanted. You can design new technology. I know that the Apple Vision Pro just came out, and they're on LinkedIn somewhere. You can find the talk with the design team who built that, right? So you can use the newest technology to make exciting experiences. I've seen so many TikTok videos of people walking down the street with the Apple Vision Pro on, and how cool is it to have designed something like that people are going to be using in their everyday life? And honestly, that changes the world in that way. So you can work in diverse industries. Like I talked about before, you don't have to work in tech, right? Working at Apple and working at Microsoft aren't the end goal for everybody. And you can make a difference at any company, anywhere, using a flexible set of skills that helps all sorts of different markets and all sorts of different users really thrive. You can also choose your own path. So I started off in freelance and contract design, and I ended up moving in with a company. Other people continue to choose the freelance path. Other people want to be contractors, and other people just want to work at a big company to make big change. And there are so many different disciplines to UX that you wouldn't even believe it, right? So you can be a UX designer, a UI designer, a UX researcher, a game designer, and all of those things are under the same umbrella as UX design. So the thing is you have options. UX design needs you. And it's not the same thing as whatever company you're working at. If you're a nurse, there are different types of nurses, but you are a nurse. With UX design, you can be so many different things. You can be a researcher. You can just create UI, which is more than just buttons, but cards and surfaces and patterns. You can do anything that you want to do. And if you're asking yourself now, why should you change careers? It's because UX design can make your life easier too. So if you're someone who has been on TikTok or was on TikTok during the pandemic where people were jumping into tech because they knew that they could make more money, all of that is true. Because you have a particular set of skills that are in demand, those are considered high value skills. You can gain financial security and triple your salary with valuable UX skills that the market needs. And they will compensate you for that very well in a lot of cases. You have a ton of different opportunities that you can work at. So remember when we said that you can work in different industries, that is true. So you can be a healthcare UX designer, you can be a retail UX designer, a food service UX designer, and you can bounce back and forth between any of those because you have that flexibility. You also get more freedom. So it was the rise of remote work with UX design and other technological places. And I personally have been working remotely since 2015, and I don't think I will ever go back to working into an office. And even if you're someone who wants to sometimes, hybrid workforces exist for a reason. And so with UX design, you get to really have more freedom to craft your life the way that you want to, the way that it should be. Don't let fear stop you from living. So the fear of layoffs, the fear of not having a job, the fear of I don't know these skills, the fear of I don't know if I would be good enough. Don't let all of that stop you from living your life and enjoying what you think your life could look like as a UX designer. Because if you believe in yourself, you can do it too. Again, I help hundreds of people transition into this field, and it is something that a lot of people are like, I don't think I'd be good because of XYZ. I can't talk very, very well. I have anxiety. I'm not going to be able to do all of the things that you do. And you absolutely can if you believe in yourself. So some actionable steps to UX design. 1, you want to make a decision about what you want to do. Take everything that you've learned today and hey, don't just listen to me. You want to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and then land on the fact that you deserve this opportunity. Everyone deserves this opportunity. Then you want to get educated. Find a trusted source to get your information from and learn how to design. If you're on this call, then you might know that we do have a program that provides structured learning for those who really want to make a career change. We teach you how to build a portfolio, and it's key because that's an industry standard. UX designers need a portfolio in order to get hired. And from all of the projects that you work on, you can create case studies and combine them into that portfolio to showcase your work and let the world know that you are a UX designer. And lastly, get hired. You want to go through the interview process with all of your favorite companies, get hired with more flexibility, a higher salary, more time freedom, and the ability to change your life forever. So, I know that that might be completely mind-blowing, or maybe you've heard of some of this stuff before. If you scan the QR code that is on the screen, it'll give you more information about the type of work that we do, about the program that we offer, and about how we can help you become a UX designer. But I would love to open it up for any questions that you have, any comments that you have, or concerns that you might have about becoming a UX designer in the current market of today. I can also answer any questions that you have about design in general or any program specific questions. So go ahead and drop those in the chat. I would love to hear from you guys if you have any of those questions. Give it a couple of minutes and see if you guys have any. And don't be shy or be scared or be worried about whatever the response would be. I love answering these questions for you if you do have them. With that being said, while you guys are formulating those, I am going to drop a survey for feedback. Let me know how I did on this call. I will also drop a link for you guys to schedule a call at the end of this presentation if you might need a little bit more information. If you're curious about what else UX design can do for you, you'll be able to schedule a call using that link below. And lastly, if you are someone who is super shy, like I mentioned previously, I'm going to drop my LinkedIn down below in the chat. So this way you can connect with me on LinkedIn and ask any questions that you might have. So before we go for today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this presentation, does anybody have any questions about UX design? Anything that you guys want to talk about today? Sweet deal. I love that. Awesome, my friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this call today. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have any questions, please let me know. Use the links that are in the chat to communicate with us, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you, my friends. Have a good day. Absolutely, John. Oh, I see. Ellen, you have a question. Will UX designers be replaced by AI in the future? No, because AI is not human. And so users work on a human level. And we are the ones who build the AI, who design the AI, who work on the conversational models. And in order for AI to do half of what it does, a human has to be the one to create that. And so UX designers their roles will transition. We'll have to learn more about AI, more about generative AI, conversational AI, and the way that AI works. But we can never truly be replaced because humans are necessary. They are not just disposable. And as much as the world changes, we do change along with it. So as a UX designer who has been in this for 6 years, I'm excited about the rise of UI because it's already helped me in my workflow on the daily to make me faster, to make me understand research a little bit better. And so it's something to lean into and not something to shy away from. So hopefully that helps. Do you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns? Ellum, so do you recommend learning generative AI for design? Yeah, definitely at some point. And so what you want to do first is get the basics of UX design down, and then you can start adding in everything else, right? And so it depends on what type of industry you want to go into as well. I think we can all use AI in our workflows and in our processes, but if you're not going to be designing a type of AI product and that's not something you're interested in, you don't need to know how to design AI. You just need to learn how to work alongside it, if that makes sense. And so there's kind of two different paths with AI there. One, you're working on an AI type of product, and another one, you're just working with AI to make your workflow a little bit easier and a little bit better. So hopefully that answers that question for you. Do you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything I can help you out with today? Give it a couple minutes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, if that's all the questions that we have for today, like I said, please go to those links, drop some feedback in that survey. I would love it if you guys would tell me how I did, anything that I could do better. Also, if you're interested, schedule a call at the end of the presentation or just connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to know who you are and see where your journey leads you. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a fantastic day.